Hello and welcome to Marine Life Science. As you've guessed, I am Mr. Hazy and I will have the opportunity this semester to teach you guys about biology through the lens of the oceans. This is my third year at Kent Island High School and I've really enjoyed my experience here thus far. Just so you know, I did come from Pittsburgh, as you can see by my shirt. So if your kid wears Ravens or Capital stuff, we might have a little bit of a problem. I'm just kidding, but on a serious note, I am a huge Pittsburgh sports fan. I know that the Steelers did just lose. Let's not talk about that. I grew up around Pittsburgh in a small town about 45 minutes north called Beaver, Pennsylvania. And while I was there, I always dreamed of attending the University of Pittsburgh. So that's where I went. I have both my undergrad degree in biology as well as my Master of Arts in Teaching, both from the University of Pittsburgh. This course, Marine Life Science, is designed to give your student the concepts behind biology without the pressures of high-stakes testing. Throughout the semester, you will definitely see, though, a ramp-up in how difficult the material is. Towards the beginning, it's mainly pretty basic ideas that they've covered in the past, but by the end, they're going to be doing things that are similar to what is done in the normal biology class. One of the other major goals that I have is to try to foster a love for science in your student. A lot of kids come in and they say that they just don't like science very much, they're not good at it, that they don't understand why they have to take it. And what I want them to learn is that even though it might not be something that they're going to have a career in, that there are a lot of very important ideas and skills that they can take away from the topic. With that being said, we are at a very interesting crossroads in science education in the United States right now. Next year, we're moving into a whole new set of standards that are called the Next Generation Science Standards. So parents, if you have a younger child, they are going to see a completely different version of biology than what you're going to be seeing this year. The Next Gen Science Standards are part of a larger framework that doesn't just include biology, but also incorporates the chemistry, the physics, and even some earth and space stuff into it as well. But because of our transition next year, I want to use some of this new progressive pedagogy this year, and you're going to have some new ideas coming from the Next Generation Science Standards. Now, what most of you are probably the most concerned with is grading. Grades in this class are extremely similar to everything else that you'll see in any school in Queen Anne's County Public Schools. 15% of the final grade comes directly from the final. 45% comes from summative assessments. That's things like tests, lab reports, projects, bigger things that are assigned that have to do more with summing up a unit rather than as you're going. The other 40% of the grade does have to do with that 40% of classwork, lab activities, homeworks, things like that. And that's the stuff that are called formative assessments. That's the as we're learning it. All of this information that I just said there is found on my syllabus that I will be reviewing with the classes on the first day. So if you didn't get that, if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. We will be going through it again. I don't give homework every night. So this isn't like a math class generally where you're going to have problem sets that are due every night. But I do assign homework every now and then. It's not always going to be graded, but I do expect it to be done every single day. If it's not done, then the student is not getting what I expected them to get out of the in-school lesson. Homework is just an extension of whatever we had been working on in class. And one other thing about assignments, there are a few group projects. There's also a couple of lab reports as well as other outside of the classroom activities that must be completed. Failure to do these is really where I see kids not do very well in the course. It's generally not because they didn't understand something. It's not because they didn't turn in anything. It's usually because there's these bigger projects that they just decided not to do. Kind of on a final note here, as we go through the semester, it is extremely important that you communicate with me about any problems or concerns that you have. I have about 80 students this semester. I also coach the ice hockey team and I'm an advisor for NHS. I have a million things going on, not only during school, but after school as well. So I can't always take the time to chase you down about a little assignment about, did you finish that? Did you work on this? Things like that. If you need help with something, I'm more than willing to work with you. If you don't understand why a certain concept is the way that it is, please ask me. We can find a time before school, we can find a time after school, we could even do something during lunch or my planning period. I'm more than willing to work with you. I just want you to make the effort to come to me. I hope this isn't the case, but some kids are completely okay with failing. You know, I can't make you care. So I want to know that you want the help, you ask for it, it's yours. The best way to get in contact with me, and this goes for both students and parents, is absolutely through email. Like I said, I'm pretty busy most of the time, so I can't necessarily sit down for a full phone call. I can't schedule meetings very frequently, but what I can do is, if you email me, I guarantee that I will get back to you within, at the very most, 24 hours. I check my email multiple times per day, multiple times per hour usually, and then if I can't get back to you at that exact moment, I at least remember, hey, this person emailed me. So in class, you're definitely going to have questions for me, and a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll look at you and I'll say, you got to email me that, because as I'm preparing for the lesson, as I'm in the middle of a lesson or something, I know that different things come to your minds and that you want to have those questions answered right then. I wish that I could do that. I wish I had the time. I wish I had access to the grade book all the time, but the reality of it is I'm probably going to look at you and say, email me. The reason I do that is so that I, first of all, remember, and second of all, so that you kind of have like a receipt of our conversation, that it isn't just me brushing you to the side, that way, for both of us, we remember that, that we need to have a conversation about something. Anyway, I look forward to a fun and interesting semester with you guys. I know that you're going to learn a lot, and I hope to learn a lot about you as well.